All right, let's go back to our earlier news that we brought on the court nullifying APC congresses at the ward, local and state levels. For some perspective on that now, we are joined by legal practitioner Henry Ekine. Henry, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, did the courts, did the courts have the legal authority to intervene in the internal congresses of the APC, and under what principle did they do this?
Yes, clearly, political parties are associations that are made up of members, and then such associations are registered with the Independent National Electoral Commission with Constitution. So members have rights to exercise. So even when the principle so expounded that internal affairs of political parties should be resolved within and by the organs of the political parties, it is not to the extent that the rights of members of the political party who also are covered by the provision of the Constitution is being infringed. So like every other association where a citizen or a member of the association feels that any of his rights or privileges is being violated, likely to be violated or has been violated, I think can seek redress, perhaps beginning with the dispute resolution mechanisms within the party and otherwise approaching the court. It is to that extent that the courts could have jurisdiction to entertain complaints by members of associations to the effect that their rights as members are being violated. And I think it is to that extent that the courts may arguably have been seized with jurisdiction, with the power to entertain and determine the questions that were presented before the courts by members of that political party.
We usually see some of these decisions being reversed. Is that a possibility here? Perhaps, if not totally reversed or modified on appeal, especially if procedural errors or misinterpretation were found?
Of course, the appellate courts exist to review the decisions of trial courts. Where such decisions are reached by error of law or fact, the appellate courts can reverse. But until we get to that point, I think, in my view, that, like I stated, every association has a constitution and has its members, just as the one I belong and the National Legal Advisor of the Committee for the Defense of Human Rights, we have our constitution, and members can express their dissatisfaction to the effect that even when actions of organs of the association are in violation of the provisions of the Constitution, we have some matters subsisting in court today by some members or errant members of the Committee for the Defense of Human Rights challenging certain actions of the organs of the association. The same way, so this is different from the argument of external personalities or individuals or other associations intruding in the affairs of another association or political party. So I think if anybody is dissatisfied with the decisions of the trial court here, and then also the argument as to the jurisdiction of the trial court, then such individual or member of the All Progressives Congress can approach the court, the appellate court, to review the decisions of the court, including challenging the jurisdiction of the court. But I think, in my view, that members of associations cannot be left to the caprices of errant or perhaps despotic leaders in associations. That's why there are constitutions that are registered with those associations, including political parties, to regulate the affairs of the organs of those associations. And when members feel that their rights are being violated, they can approach the courts. The courts are not ousted in that regard. So, but of course, the appellate courts are there to review the decisions of trial courts.
Quickly, in 30 seconds, if you can, what is the political implications here? This exercise has already been done.
Well, with the decision so subsisting until obtained by an appellate court, it means it's valid and then it's enforceable. And the implication of this decision is that Chief Emeka Bekay remains the legal and substantive chairman of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State and his elected members of the State Executive Committee and State Working Committee. This also, by extension, means that the purported congresses at the ward, local government, and state levels conducted in defiance, in disobedience of the order of court by the faction led by Chief Tony Okocha, has been nullified by the court. And of course, you cannot approach the court when you're disobeying an order of the court. It's contempt, it's contemptuous, and the court will protect its orders. So I think that's just what it has happened in Rivers State before, even with the same All Progressives Congress, where the All Progressive Congress had congresses in Rivers State, and those congresses were held in violation of subsisting orders of court, and then they produced certain candidates for an election, and then the courts nullified the emergence of those candidates for the election in Rivers State. And that was why people like Tony Okocha and others lost the opportunity of contesting an election at that time. So it can't be argued that the courts were ousted of jurisdiction to entertain such matters. The same All Progressives Congress in Rivers did a repeat of that experience.
Okay. Thank you very much, Henry, for speaking with us.
Thank you very much for having me. Always my pleasure to have an opportunity to explain some of these issues as I perceive them.
And we appreciate it.